We are back, everybody, after a wild card week here in Major League Baseball postseason action. And we are now going to take a look forward at the division series, Nika, because it's all over but the crying for 4 teams in Major League Baseball after the wild card round. The Padres going home. The Cleveland Guardians going home. The Cincinnati Reds heading home. And the Boston Red Sox heading home. Alex Cora and company.
Yep.
It's all over but the crying.
There's no crying in baseball.
Well,
Somebody says crying today for sure.
I didn't cry yesterday at all. I was a little heated after some umpiring that happened in the Padres-Cubs series. We had an awful week of predictions, by the way. We were 1-3. Cleveland, see you later. San Diego, adios. And Boston, hasta la bye-bye.
Yep.
The only one we got right was the Dodgers over the Reds, and
that
did not take a rocket scientist to figure out. So we were horrible, and there's reasons for that, I think. But nevertheless, we have no choice but to just move on because it's playoff baseball, and it waits for nobody, Nika.
That's true. Our better track record is with wrestling predictions.
Absolutely. And with that said, we now have the divisional bracket series. We have Cubs at Brewers, Dodgers at Phillies, Tigers at Mariners, and the Yankees are facing the Blue Jays. But first, if this is your first time here, please do us a solid and like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell, everybody, for our mascot, Frexy. Yes, indeed. That is the best mascot we could ever hope for, and she sure does love attention. So find it in your hearts to ring that bell just for her.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. All right, Nico. Well, you see the brackets, and you see that there is no rest for the weary. The Cubs and Brewers will be playing at 2:08 Eastern Time Saturday. And the schedule goes on from there. As you can see, we got baseball all day Saturday. All 4 of these series will kick off. That's like 11 o'clock in the morning for us here.
Wait, is the Cubs Brewers first game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They are the first game.
Not the East Coast then, huh?
Not the East Coast. The Yankees and Blue Jays will be the honor of the first East Coast AL game that goes off just a couple hours later, 4 o'clock Eastern. And, of course, the big monster movie showdown, the Dodgers-Phillies, is at 6:30. So that's in the Saturday night primetime slot.
Sure.
And Tigers-Mariners on at 8:30. So they get the late night New York East Coast time slot. Good stuff here happening in Major League Baseball. I mean, we, just to be upfront, are pretty disappointed the Padres are out, right?
Yeah, but we could have seen it miles ahead.
We had concerns.
Yes, we did.
And we held on to hope, and hence one of our failed predictions. I mean, you know, going into Wrigley Field was never going to be easy, and the Padres did not help themselves out by not getting a home game in the first round, like, you know, beating the Dodgers for the division that was right there for the taking.
It was.
This is not the Padres post-mortem. We are going to do a whole segment on that. So if you have been following us and know of our Padres content, stay tuned. It's coming, and it will be good, I promise. But right now, we want to move our attentions to the National League Division Series, and I want to kick it up. And first off, I want to give a huge shout-out to the Chicago Cubs, my childhood team, and this was one of the toughest series for me to watch ever, I think. I hated every single second of the Padres at the Cubs series. I hated every second of it, and I'm glad it's over. My heart was with the Padres. It's not an offense to my Cubs childhood or anything, but I got to watch the Cubs win a World Series, and I'd really like to see the Padres win a World Series. I'd like to see the Mariners win a World Series. I don't need to necessarily see the Brewers win a World Series.
Well, now you
Old rivalries die hard, Nika.
But you only have 2 teams that never won the World Series, Brewers and the Mariners, going into the series.
Correct. If the Cubs are unable to get past the Brewers, I may change my mind about that.
Okay, that's fair.
But for now, you know, just because the Cubs beat the Padres and left a sour taste in my mouth with that series doesn't mean that come tomorrow, I'm going to turn on a switch and I'm going to be a Cubs fan for the rest of this season, and
no, that's fair.
I owe it to my upbringing to at least give them that.
Absolutely. Cubs are a good team, They just might fall a little bit short this season.
I still have concerns.
Yeah, rightfully
So
so.
let's talk about the Cubs at the Brewers. That is the first game that starts on Saturday. It will also be the last game on Monday night. So there is no National League games on Tuesday.
I see.
I'm sorry. There's no National League games on Sunday.
So there's a one game Saturday, then Monday.
Yes.
Okay.
Whereas in the American League, they both play Saturday
Sunday.
and Sunday, but not Monday. So we've seen this in the past. This is how that split will not work out. All right, Nico, let's talk about the Cubs and Brewers. This series, even though the Cubs did take down the Padres, I have now totally switched my allegiances to the Cubs. No, that's just a joke. I mean, I grew up rooting for the Cubs. They are my childhood favorite team. Ryan Sandberg, Mark Grace, Greg Maddux, those were my heroes growing up. So I'm Sean Dunston. Sorry, didn't mean to leave you out. Andre Dawson. No, just I'm super happy that the Cubs are in this position. I'm really happy for the city of Chicago, a great sports town that has been underrepresented in all sports lately. So they needed something to hang their hats on this winter. And, at least the Cubs won a playoff series this year.
That's right.
And they did it against the Padres team that is not easy to beat. We saw they have an amazing pitching staff. We got to see some of that on display this week. It was unfortunately for the Friar faithful, just not enough to get it done at Wrigley Field. So here we are, the Cubs and Brewers, for the first time in Major League Baseball history, will be meeting in the postseason. So these two great Midwestern cities, Chicago and Milwaukee, have never had a baseball playoff series against each other. I don't know if that's true of the White Sox and Brewers. I don't remember, but I don't have that data in front of me. But nevertheless, that's not really a thing anymore because the Brewers jumped ship to the National League a long time ago. And it's hard to believe a little bit that this is the first time they've both been this good, I guess, in the same season to have this matchup. When you look back at the 2025 season series between the Brewers and the Cubs won the season series 7-6. It was really close.
Oh, really? So
really close. But I was actually a little bit
then.
surprised to see that, and they didn't play each other a lot in September. And August. I don't remember when the last time they played each other this season was, but the Brewers went on a bender in the second half and overtook the Cubs for the division lead by quite a big margin. It became insurmountable, and one of the concerns we had about the Cubs going into the playoffs was the fact that they were in this bit of limbo as the playoff build came, and they had gotten swept by the Reds, right? In a 4-game series at home that allowed the Reds to even make the postseason. So they were not necessarily lighting the world on fire heading into the postseason, and that was a concern of ours. And to be quite honest, they're still not necessarily lighting the world on fire. They scored 6 runs in 3 games against the Padres, who do have a great pitching staff. That
true.
Breaks down to 2 runs a game, though, Nika.
That's true, but they did win the series at the end of the day.
They did win the series, yeah. They got the big home runs when they needed them. So they earned this opportunity to go and face the best team in the National League, and they do have home field. But this is one of those 5-game things where it's going to go quick again,
Yes and no, because at the same time, when it goes quicker, you have more chances to win the series. When you have 3 games, that goes really fast.
Oh, it goes so fast, doesn't it?
Right. You don't have a recourse to take. Where 5 series, you can make adjustments.
I'm exhausted. I need this day off, in between the games starting tomorrow. And at least tomorrow's just the start of it. And it's a little bit longer. So you have a little bit more of a movie that's going to unfold for each series. But,
exactly.
I guess from the Cubs standpoint, the Brewers are kind of the Padres, right, Nika? But they're just a little bit better at it.
They
hit a little bit more with pop and more doubles and home runs than the Padres.
They do. They know their identity. Padres were still looking for their identity.
Absolutely. But the Cubs, if they want to have any chance at all in this series, they have to win one of these first two games in Milwaukee, right? Like you come back to Wrigley Field down 2-0 in a best of 5 series.
They should take at least one game if they want to have a win.
I think if we want to see any like competitiveness in this series at all, we need to see the Cubs win one of these first two games. And you have to figure that Milwaukee will have the advantage by having their pitching staff all set up and lined up.
True.
Matthew Boyd will probably not be available until game 2 at the earliest. So I do expect the Cubs to use him, though, on what would be Monday night because they will get the extra day of rest that the American League teams will not be privy to.
That's true.
So I expect Matthew Boyd to go in game 2, but we do have this conundrum of like we don't know who's going to be able to pitch for the Cubs in game 1, Nika, because I feel like they just lost. I mean, I don't think Cade Horton's going to be available to be activated after being diagnosed with a broken rib yet.
I don't think
I could be wrong. But
well, they're gonna stitch him up and put him up there. And
I don't know if
happens.
we're there yet. You know, like we'll wait and see. You know, like the Cubs. It's early here on Friday morning. The Cubs have not met the media today at all. I'm sure they've like moved their circus to Milwaukee and getting set up with shop over there. So no idea when I'm sure Craig Counsell will address the media today.
I'm sure,
and some of the key players might address the media today. But you know, I don't know if we'll know anything before then, and it's only noon in the Midwest, so I don't think they're there yet.
They were celebrating till late.
They were. The Cubs know how to party. Everybody, look at them. Eddie Vedder was there. Can we just put the rest of the Vedder Cup? By the way, we might talk about that in the Padres soliloquy / post-mortem that we're gonna do later. I might have to mention this whole Vedder Cup thing that they introduced between the Mariners and Padres.
Last time they celebrated, they lost 4 games in a row to the Reds. That's what happened with the Cubs.
That's a very good point. And we don't want to see a repeat of that. So you better drink your electrolytes today, Cubbies, and sober up quickly and get a good night's sleep in that haunted hotel they got in Milwaukee.
That's right.
The Fister, whatever it's called.
Yes.
Hilarious.
And it's Halloween time. Perfect.
It's Halloween time. It's October. Spooks are going to be out.
Yep.
You know, so you might want to pack your Ouija board or some kind of essence, potions,
tarot cards. I don't know.
Tarot cards,
whatever.
What else? Anything else? Silver?
Maybe. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, leave the gold at home and bring the silver.
Hey, bring a witch.
Bring your wives.
There you go.
If you're as lucky as me, you'll have your own wizard at home.
Hello.
Don't call her a witch, folks.
No, I'm a wizard.
Yes, that's right. All right. Well, do you think that the Cubs fans, Nico, will bring a strong, commanding presence to the Milwaukee Stadium here, Great American Ballpark? Do you think that they're going to show up and support the Cubs? Do you think it's going to be a mixture of a crowd, or do you think it's going to be mostly Milwaukee?
Oh, there will be Cub fans. There's no doubt. There are so many Cub fans all over this country. I mean, there
absolutely,
will be there.
Absolutely.
Whether they will dominate, I don't think so. The Brewers will pack the house.
Okay, sounds good. I think the Cubs fans could shell out and make their presence felt.
Sure.
I don't think that they can overcome the Milwaukee faithful, though. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to be a bit of. I don't think it will be an advantage of any kind. Really, when it boils down to it.
Not.
But I don't expect the Brewers to get any kind of edge at Wrigley Field at all either.
No, it's going to be the same situation as with the Padres. It's going to be loud and booming, and it's going to be all about them Cubs.
Absolutely.
Go Cubs, go.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Yes, they want to play the song a couple more times at least. And, you know, a good way to do that would be to take one of these first 2 games and then close it out in 4 games. The key player for me in this series, if you're a Cubs fan, Nika, is number 30, Kyle Tucker. You know, we should take a minute and talk about Kyle Tucker because he had such an amazing start to his Cubs tenure through April and May. He was doing so well. I even remember that day they were playing the Pirates, and they had the 3 home runs off Skeens in that inning, and they wound up winning that game. And Kyle Tucker had hit one of those home runs. His swing looked so pretty. And yet he fell off like the face of the earth in the second half. He had some injury issues with his finger after sliding into second base. And then he had a calf injury throughout September that caused him to leave the team and be in Tampa Bay, like rehabbing at his home. And it didn't rub all Cub fans and media personality the right way, I guess, that he wasn't there when they clinched their playoff spot and wasn't there celebrating so they could get their sound bites, I guess, with him. But now the ante has been raised, I guess. The stakes are higher. The Cubs have moved on, and they have this opportunity. They're one of the final 8 teams remaining, Nika. And now is the time for superstars in this league to shine, right? One of the reasons why the Padres went home is because their superstars did not show out this week at Wrigley Field at all.
They did not.
And the Cubs should take note because now they are going to be, quote unquote, the underdogs. I think they're not going to have home field, at least the advantage. They will have some home games, maybe 1, maybe 2, hopefully. Well, at least you hope that they get at least a split in Milwaukee in the first 2. But they really need Kyle Tucker now more than ever to be a superstar type player. He has postseason experience with the Astros, you know?
I know, but you can't put everything on Kyle Tucker's shoulders.
I disagree a little bit. I'm not putting it all on his shoulders, but he has to perform now. He has to have good at-bats when he is up, you know? And the Cubs need him to be, quite frankly, the $400 million plus player that the rest of the media thinks he can be. They see him that way. The Dodgers are probably lining up to pay him that in the offseason or more. I'm being facetious, but like that's so seriously, that's what we need out of Kyle Tucker if 100%. The Cubs are going to advance. 100%. I think personally, he needs to have a big series. You know,
I know, but I know it's hard to predict what kind of Kyle Tucker you're going to get in this series.
It is because he was out a lot of September and he was
up and down before that. After trade deadline, he was up and down.
He did have a couple of hits though in this series, and you know that's more than I can say for some others. And so he is showing signs of like, you know, coming out of it. But he hasn't hit for a lot of slug. He's not hitting doubles and certainly not hitting any memorable home runs yet. I think the Cubs will need 1 or 2 of those big hits with runners on base if they want to beat the Brewers and move on to the NLCS.
Well, you know, it will be very interesting because Greg Console is going back to Milwaukee, and he was homegrown, basically.
Such a great story in all of this, right?
Right, and him and Murphy have a really good, close relationship. So that's another
so crazy
odd thing to overcome because he will get booed no matter what.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be probably the big overarching storyline going on in this series is just not the fact that the Cubs and Brewers are such close rivals, but just the whole Craig Counsell situation and how out of nowhere last year, I'll still remember it, he was signed by the Cubs for this record contract that everyone saw him going to the Mets, if you remember, you know, or a bigger market.
Yeah, it was unexpected.
It really, really was. So anyways, Craig Counsell became Cubs manager, and that allowed Pat Murphy to kind of get promoted from within, right? He's he's very much like a Brian Snitker. Like he's been
there for a minute.
Yeah, he's been there for a minute, you know, like you could almost say like kind of like a Mike Schilt with St. Louis Cardinals, you know, where he came up through their organization.
Yeah, but pretty close.
So anyways, he gets the top job though with the Brewers, and I think he's universally loved by the Brewers fan base there. You know, he's been the exact thing they needed after the heartbreak of losing Counsell, and they haven't gotten over that yet either.
No, maybe not the fans. The players might have. There's a bunch of new players, so they might have got over this, but not the fans. Fans will remember.
It's a betrayal in their minds, they never will get over that betrayal, even though I think if you were to ask a lot of them, they would say it was a blessing in disguise also because they like Pat Murphy better.
Potentially, sure.
Remains to be seen. Neither one of them got Milwaukee the ring, and they don't have one as a franchise. So they're playing for a lot. They also lost Bob Uecker in between the seasons, and it's kind of had this emotional arc over their team. We saw this last year with the Padres. So, it could end in heartbreak that way for Milwaukee. They could be thinking like it's our year because of that.
Potentially,
and
sure.
It has nothing to do with it.
I know. So
you like to think that these things
I know,
do,
but they don't matter.
They don't matter. So, having said all this, Nika, let's turn our attentions to the prediction for this series. Who would you say is gonna come out on top?
I'm gonna get hate for this.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna say Brewers, 3 games.
Brewers in 3. They're gonna sweep the Cubs.
I don't know if they're gonna sweep it. Cubs gonna win 1 game, but I don't see them winning more.
You have to win 3 to advance.
Oh,
So
I know. So Brewers were 3 out of 5.
the Brewers will win 3. How many will the Cubs win? 1.
Yeah.
So you think it goes 4?
Yeah, I think it goes 4.
So Nika's taking the Brewers in 4. It's not a bad prediction. I think it is all going to come down to these first 2 games. If the Brewers leave home and come to Wrigley with a 2-0 advantage, I think the Brewers will win in 4. But my prediction is the Cubs will win one of these first 2 games. I think they're going to find a way.
Wait, I thought we were doing the series, not games.
We are, and I'm
Okay.
gonna say because they do that, they come to Wrigley and they win the series in 4 games, and it does not go back to Milwaukee. I'm
I
taking
see.
the Cubs in 4,
All right, Cubs in 4. Okay.
and I'm predicting that Kyle Tucker has a home run or 2 in this series, but at least 2 big hits. Okay,
I will
2
say-
big hits.
Okay, I will give you a counter to that one. I think William Contreras will deliver few homers.
Revenge for his brother Wilson.
Yep.
Oh, these players will find anything
I
to
know.
motivate them. So don't put it past them.
But
All
I
right.
do hope the Cubs win.
I know
at the
you
end.
do. I know you do. And logically, you're not making a bad prediction either
Yeah.
by saying Milwaukee in 4.
So, all right.
All right. Well, I say Cubs in 4. Nika says Brewers in 4. And we deviate as we head on to the other matchup going on in the division series. And if Cubs and Brewers is a dramatic, overarching mentor story, I guess, with Craig Counsell and Pat Murphy, the Dodgers and Phillies is like a heavyweight boxing match, Nika.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
This year's Dodgers and Padres series, I wrote that in question mark. Like, a lot of people point to the Dodgers Padres playoff series of 2024 as the best postseason series that we had last year, just with the rivalry and the hatred and like the on-field antics with Profar and the Dodger fans and all this drama, right?
Yeah.
Is this that series this year? Is the Dodgers Phillies like our true World Series this year? Are these the best 2 like teams when it comes to veterans and just playoff experience? And this is like a heavyweight match, this is a damn monster movie.
When you think about it, those are one of the 2 oldest teams with the rosters.
Yeah,
So
no,
have
that's
the
what
oldest.
I mean. And between the 2 rosters, like
Yeah, it might be that series. It might be the most exciting series of this postseason.
absolutely, I think it has a big chance to be. And this is going to be really, really interesting to watch unfold.
Definitely.
The Phillies, by the way, they win the season series over the Dodgers 4-2. And I also want to point out that they just played the Dodgers in September at their place and won 2 out of 3. So I don't think the Phillies are afraid of the Dodgers
They
at
are
all.
not. And they had experience from the previous years where they felt short
Yeah,
against the Dodgers.
right. And would get, not intimidated per se, but just like, kind
they-
of accept their fate almost.
They did, and they lifted themselves up and rebuilt a little bit, plugged some holes, and here we are again. So hopefully they have
Definitely.
enough stamina to go through this 5-game
Now,
series.
having said all that, Nika, I want to point something out that the Dodgers, since they played the Phillies in September, even they're totally different. And I
Yes.
know it's weird to say that, but like I watched it happen from afar. I watched them slow play this whole situation back into this postseason roster, even to where they now have like Clayton Kershaw and Roki Sasaki coming out of their bullpen in this series.
I know. I understand.
And they don't have Tanner Scott and stuff coming out anymore, who was giving up some of those games to the Phillies.
That's true.
So it's not the same matchup. It's crazy to say.
It's not. But the Phillies, I'm going to go with the Phillies on this one.
Well, there's no Will Smith still for the Dodgers that I maybe he'll get activated. I haven't seen the latest on that. But Max Muncy is back for the Dodgers, and he does help their lineup a lot. We know that.
True.
So this is the postseason, and the Dodgers are kind of different now. And one thing that's different is Ohtani is pitching in the postseason for the Dodgers and for himself for the first time in his whole career tomorrow night. He is starting game 1 in Philadelphia. If you didn't already have a reason to want to watch this game, I mean,
it's a must-watch.
Come
TV.
on. This is like, if you're a baseball fan, period, I don't care if your team got knocked out this week and you're crying about it and you don't want to watch. Like, you have to watch this. You are curious to see how it goes at the very least.
Yeah, the Dodgers-Reds series, it was glorified practice, for a better lack of words, for the Dodgers. You know, we knew going into that series, the Reds don't have enough to overtake the team.
Yeah, they really would have needed like a miracle and
a half.
Yeah. They don't have as strong of a roster as the Diamondbacks did a couple years ago when they took it to the Dodgers in the playoffs. Like, they were all just hot at the right moment.
Yeah.
Corbin Carroll. They had those 4 young players that hit 4 home runs in the playoffs that year on their way to the World Series. And the Reds don't have that.
No, Reds don't have an identity as a team. They don't have a team philosophy. They were just a group of guys, young players that got great postseason experience.
They're better managed than they were in the past, probably, but I still think Terry Francona's also probably lost a step. And
sure, he got older, you know.
If anything, they're just getting better consistency from him. But I don't know if they necessarily have a World Series manager running their ship right now either in Cincinnati. So
no, not yet. Not yet.
All right. Well, we said Ohtani's pitching game 1, and this already has me jonesing and looking ahead to a potential game 5 in this series. And Ohtani could find himself right back on the mound in Philadelphia for a game 5, Nika, if it goes the distance.
And you think it will go the distance?
I do think this series will go the distance, and that means Ohtani's going to start 2 games.
I don't know, because they might do a game 5 by bullpen to save him for the next series.
Why would you save him if your season's on the line? That
that's
doesn't
true.
make any
That's right.
sense. I mean, that's a really huge gamble.
That is.
I would not necessarily take that gamble.
Fair enough.
What do you think about the Phillies, though? Is this their last chance with this core group? I mean, we keep kind of saying that, I feel like, year after year, like, oh, they're getting a little older. And yet, here they are again. They were the top 2 teams in the National League, so they got that first round bye. They get a free pass right into the division series, and yet we've seen them here before. We've seen them lose here before to the Braves a lot.
Yes, they have.
So are they going to figure it out, like,
I don't
this
know.
year?
I hope so, because they don't have many years left. I don't think they're going to stay the same as for the next season. Something has to give.
Schwarber's a free agent. Bryce Harper's aging. Schwarber just had a monster year. You got to figure that people are going to come knocking and offer him mountains of money. And I mean, I know Philadelphia would love to keep him, but they got other aging contracts on the books. I don't know if they can afford to take on another like $200 million plus for 4 or 5 years of aging Kyle Schwarber. I mean, hats off to Kyle Schwarber for the season that he had, but I don't know if I'd want to pay somebody his age, $200 million plus, and he might command that.
Maybe. Depends. If he wants to stay a Philly for life,
well,
he will take a pay cut.
If he wants to, but he wants to probably earn as much money as possible playing the great kids game. So my key player though in this series is for the boys in blue. And it's Mr. Shohei Ohtani. It is. I was reminded this week of just how fun his batting stance is because I saw the Ghost of Yotai game coming out. And Ohtani almost has a batting stance very similar to one of the stances that you have to use as a samurai in the Ghost of Yotai / Ghost of Tsushima franchises.
I want to say it's a water stance where you have your samurai sword like a batting bat because we played the other game.
We played Tsushima. We haven't played Ghost of Yotai yet. And
Right.
I'm not sure if we're in a huge rush to because of
not really.
details, but I do like the Ghost of Tsushima game a lot, and
It's a challenging game.
But it's funny to me that he almost has like a samurai stance as a batter, and it makes me wonder if it's intentional. Does he intentionally have this? Like, did he get his idea for a batting stance?
It would be great
like
to see
a samurai.
Those Seiya Suzuki have a similar stance. I haven't noticed it.
Yeah, I mean it's not quite as pronounced, and like Ohtani's is like literally like the elbow is sticking out.
I know, but he's also
back.
taller. Seiya is a lot
And the
smaller.
bat is so upright. It looks like a sword in his hand.
It does.
He's totally.
Katana. Let's go with it's not a sword, it's a katana.
All right. Well, we've talked about this series quite a bit, and we've voiced our concerns about the Phillies, and I know the Dodgers are getting hot. So having said all this, what's your prediction, Nika?
Oh, boy. I'm going to go, it's going to go 5 games, most likely.
The distance.
The distance.
In Philadelphia, like Rocky, everybody.
So, wait, the Dodgers have to go to Phillies for the first 2 games?
Yes.
Okay, so
and then
they
there's
start
2
over
games
there,
in Los Angeles if
and then
needed,
back to
and then
Phillies.
back to Philly again if needed.
Shit. I don't know.
All right, I'll go first if you want.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, I've taken the Dodgers in 5. And I'm going to say Ohtani gets the win in both games on the mound and becomes more legendary than he's ever been. And
Okay.
I just see it that way.
Oh, fine. You take the Dodgers, I take the Phillies in 5.
Ooh, Phillies in 5.
Phillies in 5. Take it back to the Phillies and win the 5th game.
Interesting. So no repeat for the Dodgers in
No.
2025.
No, I mean I would like. No, I'm gonna stick with the Phillies.
I can't bet against Ohtani.
I know that's my problem because I know what kind of player he is and what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm concerned about the rest of the team. He's just one man. As good as he is.
Yeah. I mean, another key player to watch in this series might be Freddie Freeman, who I think did this to the Phillies with the Braves, in his life. So he's got the experience for it. I know it's weird to say, but it's just
it's been a while.
Something I can't get over, is the fact that if you've done it before, you can do it again. And it's that mental. It's what the brain remembers,
Sure, muscle memory, all that stuff. I get it. The fact that it's contributing to him not being able to do it is his age. He got older. He's got a broken ankle since last season. He hasn't been the same Freddie Freeman since last season.
I know. And I think, that's why my mind goes to guys like that who you're not thinking of first in your head, as like, this is going to be the difference maker in this series. And yet, like, I watched him bat, and he is close to being like the old Freddie Freeman again.
Okay. We see.
If he finds that left field power alley, that opposite field gap between the center fielder and the left fielder, look out. All right. Well, those are our picks for the National League Division Series and who will advance onwards to the National League Championship Series. Who do you think is going to make it into the next round? Let us know in the comments below, and we'll see whose predictions come true, shall we? Kenny's, Nika's, or yours at home. But for now, keep it right here because our picks for the American League Division Series are coming up next, and there's a link right at the end of this video, so you can watch it right now. Adios, everybody.